Good morning, traders, and welcome to the All Markets Live Order Flow Analysis webinar with Bruce. I'll be your host here. We're going through order flow and reading it live in forward-looking analysis here in Bookmap and trying to get a feel for who's in control and trying to get a feel for who's in control of the market, understanding the context between the limit orders as well as the aggressors, the market orders, to give us insight to where price might go. Now we're going to mix those two elements together with the context of the market structure. Very important to have these three elements here to give us an edge. All right, general disclosure, all Bookmap Limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Risk disclosure, trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, so good morning, everybody. Let's take a look. We'll jump into the S&P E-mini. We can see the current activity here from earlier this morning. We've been on a steady trend to the upside here. And you can see that cash open right here continues on up. So we haven't even, we made this kind of initial low here right at the cash open, but then it jumped up to the upside and we've come back and retested this area above it. So we're still accepting higher, and that's what we know so far in the market structure. Let's take a look at, good morning, Luis. Let's also take a look at the order flow within here in this market structure. It is this specific, we're just going to go through it quickly because it's Monday. We got to go through the higher time frame, but it is this action that we're looking at. All right, and let's just go through a quick breakdown of the action within this rectangle here. Lots of buyers coming in, trading into high liquidity up into these areas here, and lots of sellers come in after trading into that high liquidity as well. Okay, so we know that we've got a lot of sellers in here. All right, well, let's, do we make higher highs in here? No, still within this kind of big range here. Now what about the buyers and sellers in here and the liquidity? Starting to see not so many buyers up here, starting to see more sellers. All right, well, let's see the sellers drop it and retest this area here. Okay, so bottom of the range here, around this 78 3/4, something like that. Just by looking at this context here, we're looking for the test for price to drop and test the lows of the cash session here. All right, so just a very, very quick analysis here. And it looks like, yeah, 78.5 or so, something like that. And we do have liquidity down here. So what do we have on our side here? Well, not a whole lot, but we do see that there's more sellers in here than buyers in general. We mentioned the structure is bullish so far. Okay, so we don't really have that on our side. It's been trending upwards. Okay, we also have for the sell side what we have on our side, or this drop into this lower 78.5 area here. What we do have on our side, high liquidity getting filled way up, lots of sellers coming on the way back down. And back and forth. And here now we can look at also something like cumulative volume delta in here to gain an understanding of buyers and sellers in this area. Now this is only aggressors, right? So we'll look at cumulative delta, and you can see it's mostly selling, right? So we can ascertain what's happening in this area, right? And that's why we're looking for the test back down into the bottom of the range here, right? So that's the quick analysis. Anyway, it's kind of all over the place at the moment. We are still in an uptrend. We don't have the bigger picture on our side, or at least the structure for today from the cash session. That is not on our side, and you can see that we're getting this kind of back and forth in here. So let's jump back though and look at the bigger picture since it's Monday. Let's look at the daily chart here on the left hand side. Looking at the candlesticks, You can see that here's Friday's action here. We're between this big range in here. Okay, so between 43.40 on up to about 44.07 or somewhere around there. Here's our day here, with the green candle, and we see the move to the upside. All right, so we're within the range and looking for the edges here to gain some sort of insight. Until then, we're looking for traders to test those ranges. All right, so let's look at the hourly chart here on the left, and we can see the gap up. Here's where we are currently. Since the gap up, yeah, we're just not really seeing too much. Not yet. The gap up that's bullish, and we don't see a whole lot of selling yet. So we do have that going for us here. And then the high would be up here. So this kind of 44.07 that we called out on the daily here. All right, and we see the wicks down here. So are we going to get a gap fill? Well, I don't see it yet. Okay, so let's jump over to the 15-minute chart. What do we see in here? Well, here's the gap. We see a little bit more here. We can see some wicks in here, selling pressure. Okay, this was from Friday here. We see the move up. Oh, I'm sorry, this was probably Thursday. No, that's Friday. Yeah. So our gap up into this kind of where the sellers came in and then immediately down. We were all over this here last. We were looking at this kind of wedge, ascending wedge pattern in here, which failed. It broke to the upside, and then it worked out after that failure. Okay, so anyway, that's what we're looking at. And then here we are, where we had all those sellers in there that we were just looking at. Well, we're going to see probably a pretty big stop run above this area right here. Okay, because let's jump over and take a look here. All right, because this is continuing to the upside here, and we saw a lot of sellers in there, right? Well, this is the outcome of it. So in here, we're looking for the retest down here. We noted that we didn't have everything on our side in here, but we did have an understanding of buyers and sellers context. All right, so let's take a look and verify that's a big stop run. It is. You can see the red line here. And then let's also put on our icebergs. All right, and see what larger players are doing. So we still have some momentum here and probably still some stops. We do up into this 90 area here, 92 area, I should say. And let's just jump back to our bigger picture here for a second. Okay, so we have some wicks up here. We're just testing them right now. Okay, so let's go through a couple scenarios in the order flow in Bookmap to understand what's going to happen up in this area here. We want to know this, and then the next area would probably be up in here. It would be a range between kind of the figure maybe on up to about 07. Pretty big range, but something like that. Let's understand what's happening here right now. All right, so we have a high liquidity getting filled yet again, okay, up in these areas here. We have our big stop run, okay, and we see quite a bit of volume in here on the buy side. Right, so look at this reference here. Okay? It's a lot. It's a lot of buy volume here. We have the sell volume kind of reference in throughout this whole area in here, in here, in here, and also sleeve. Okay, this whole move. All right, well, we got our break, and we're going to go through a couple scenarios. So if we're going to continue on up to the upside, we're looking for the order book, which we do have underneath here at 90. We have some potential trap sellers in here, but we really need to see those buyers come in right now on the aggressor side, and for them to move it on up into 95 and maybe 98 or the figure 100. Okay, starting to see them. All right, well, let's see. If that's what we're looking for, then we're looking for these buyers. We should get a move into 95. Okay, we got our order book skew. We've got some momentum here. We've got some lots of stops along the way. And where are our, we're not getting our aggressors up here, are we? Yeah, not. This is exhausting out on the buy side. So we're actually going to kind of flip the idea here. We're actually looking for a retest back down to about 90. This is, let's go over this in here about probabilities. Okay, it is actually a higher probability look for the buyers to come back in up here. Okay, here's why. Because we have the buyers leading the pack, or showing the direction here, trading into and through high liquidity in. Okay, we have momentum to the upside. Okay, we're looking for that order book skew, and we're still looking for buyers up here. Okay, now if we get them, we should get the break. Okay, especially after just this little dip here, and we have a bit of selling that's going to be trapped here. That would be the most likely scenario here. Okay, what we covered earlier was the dip down to about 90 due to this lack of buying up in here. Okay, so we're looking for sellers to try to drive it back down and retest the bottom of the range here. Okay, and then instead we can see that buyers are coming back in. Right, so it had to kind of flip-flop there a little bit, but let's just talk about it in terms of what we have on our side here to make a better decision in here. Okay, so still, unless a massive selling comes in here right now, we're looking for continuation on up into 95 and higher here. Looking for that order book skew. Structure was broken. We have high liquidity in here, but it traded into and through. Okay, so we have this on our side. Now we're just looking for those buyers to come in and to continue to press higher. The order book is also a little bit on our side here. I have to say, this makes me leery though. I mean, this is the primary scenario in here, and we have some elements on our side. It's making me very leery though. I'm not seeing the buying pressure up in this area. It looks kind of muted here. So not nothing too solid here to take a look at. Okay, so there's our break. And let's see if we can get continuation here. Okay, and not too many stops either hit in this area here. All right, so now let's draw a structure around this here because it's starting to kind of like it. We've got kind of a channel coming here, and what's happening in this channel is we're not finding buyers at the top of the channel here. Okay, so we're rotating back in now, and this is just for buyers up in here. They're not interested in buying the highs here. Okay, so this is not indicative of a trending market, okay, in order flow terms. Okay, so we're starting to see sellers come in. Now this is where we're looking for the test. There it is. Okay, to the bottom of this channel and top of this little range in here as well. You get an answer in here. Are we still finding buyers? Are they still scooping it up down here? Okay, is this low enough for them to buy? Are they interested, or do they want it lower? Okay, well, the liquidity is helping us here, 92 and 90. See it here in the order book. And look at liquidity here as well on the offer. See how they're lowering it kind of below the high here. Okay, so we're starting to see kind of a change and a shift here now. All right, so now because of this, I'm looking for right here at 94. We don't have too much buying in here to really be trapped by the sellers. We might get them now though. Might get the trap now. And this is one of the things we've been adding into the scenarios of we want to see the trap traders on our side. So this might be it. Let's take a look here. And now we'll see if this, now how we're going to get our answer is going to be sellers right here at 95. Okay, we're looking at a big red dot there, and then we're looking for them to come back down pretty quickly actually to 94. And there's a retest. All right, there's some selling. All right, they should be able to get at least down to 94. Again, I don't like it though. There's a very, very quick kind of dump of selling there. And there we go. There's our 94. Okay, still, when I see that kind of move, that really quick move like that, it doesn't necessarily, I mean, a lot of times we'll see a quick move like that and we can get right back above it. We see the buyers above it to move it higher. Okay, so we're again very leery here at this area here. Okay, around this 94 up to this 97 area. So we got, guys, I don't know how else to good morning Stephen, good morning Stan, how else to tell you about that, or just that is this buying up in here that gave us that kind of that feeling, right? That and we don't have a lot of buyers up here. Okay, in a trending market, we want to see buyers at the higher areas, almost always. Potential traps, this selling here, right, for the move up into 99 or the figure. Or potential trap would be this buying in here. Look for either scenario here. Morning, Tom. Yeah, let's see this. Here's again, like really, it's hands off. I mean, we're looking for something very specific, all on our side, right? We want to add these things up, these elements up, to give us something that just is telling us from the behavior of others to give us insight to make a decision. Okay? And right now, we're just not getting that kind of insight. How are you, Michael? All right, so boy, the buyers really have to show us something now, because we've come up here, we've made a slightly higher high a couple times. Well, this did make a higher high by a tick. Okay, but we're really seeing a drop off in the buying up in here. Doesn't mean it can't go higher, but we really need to see someone pick it up here. Okay, else we're going to see these sellers come in, and if the sellers do come in at the bottom edge here, be looking for them to test the bottom edge down here. Okay, and looking for these guys in here to be trapped, right? And we'd be looking for the stop run down into this area here. A lot of iceberg buying just came in here, about 600. Be a little 800. Turn on the chart. Yeah, 822 buy side. All right, buyers are starting to pick it up here. Still, again, don't have all the pieces here. I mean, the order book's showing a little bit of pressure underneath here. It's not a whole lot. They are starting to pull here. We are getting that equation. It's just not looking for much out of it here. There we go. Look at that. All right. So we did get something out of it. Like I said, it wasn't looking high probability to me. We see the big stop run in here. Very nice. All right. So now the question is, and let's just take a step back here. Let's look at our candlesticks. Okay. We're up in this range here that we're looking for. The figure on up to 07. Okay. That's where we found the sellers previously, and let's see if they are still up in this area here, willing to defend it. Buyers take some profit up here, sellers engage again. Okay, it's a big gap here. We do have a lot of components here for a flag pattern or continuation pattern here. Strong move up, slight pullback, order book here. Okay, now we're looking for the aggressors right in this area here, above the figure. Okay, if we can get that, then be looking for this to continue on up. See it, buyers. Let's see if you got it here. Yeah, nothing. I mean, they're up here and they're starting to buy, but it's back and forth again. Guys, sorry, I just don't. There's nothing really here. Like we're looking for putting the pieces together here for something that gives us more probable outcome. Got a little bit of a trap there on the sell side, so let's see. Buyers are starting to squeeze them a little bit. Any questions? So I know not the most exciting in here, but you know, it's just kind of just not really quite believing in the move in here during this period in here, not believing in it. And then we do see the strong buying did come in, and we do get a nice little stop run there. And now we're going to get the continuation move. Again, like, we really want to see that it is kind of turning into that continuation pattern here with strong move, pull back, strong move. Okay, so we are getting that, but nothing in here that really made us feel good about that. Okay, this was actually the best part right here. We have the order book skew higher, and then more demand on the bid at these higher levels, and we start to see the buyers come in here. And then sellers come in, a little bit of buying, mostly selling in here. The best thing about that we can pull away from this here is that these guys are going to be trapped if they can see the buyers come on the other side and move this higher. So we should see the stop runs continue, and they are. That's about it though. But in terms of it being like a strong pattern in here, no, not really. The confirmation of the pattern is in here, or a confirmation for entry, and that's not looking like it. A high liquidity up at our 07 level. We were kind of looking for that to unfold. We are getting that, and it makes sense due to the swing. Here it is on the hourly here, and on the daily as well. Looks like buyer's going to test it here, and then try to probably look for like really nice stop run maybe above that here. A few things in here, and let's take a look at this relative volume in here on these higher time frames to start to ascertain what might be unfolding here. So on the daily, it's probably showing it the best. Not bad on the hourly, maybe show a few more candles, but on the daily in here, again, looking for that kind of back and forth in here in the trap volume, potentially at these lower areas. And then the move back up, it's pretty strong here. Okay? And then we got a pullback here. So again, we could have a nice continuation up here. So we're really looking for our buyers up here to try to get it back up to maybe this 30 level today. If we can get that continuation here on the buy side. And then let's see, because we could see actually that the heavy selling was from what day here was this? This was on the 20th of September, and the move down here. Okay, well, what we're talking about here is just a moment. And this is higher time frame again, but we're going through the scenarios here in the order flow on the lower time frame. On the higher time frame, we have the potential for something like this. This is your trap down here. So the back and forth, up, back, continuation, move up to some place around it. Okay, so about 4,500. That's a 100-point move. And now that may play over several days in here, but it's really going to start, and we're going to start to understand what's happening here. Okay. Okay, it's just a scenario, and to be aware of that. We see maybe today we just get some back and forth in this area, and then tomorrow we get the raise up above. Okay, that's one scenario. Another one is maybe we get the test up to this area in here, or maybe it's just where it is right now, some back and forth, and then a drop down, maybe to fill the gap, maybe to test these lows here. Okay. What we're trying to do and trying to ascertain again is by understanding the behavior in here of the participants shown in Bookmap. Wow, beautiful stop run. Look at that. Okay, up above, up into 10 now, and then boy, that ought to wipe out a lot of people. That's huge. It's just huge. All right, so let's see if we can get now. Well, we'll go through our scenarios in here, looking for maybe sellers to try to drive it back down to where it broke out from, which would be here around our 98 level. Let's clear our drawings here. This more aggressive trend line's already been broken here. That. Boy, beautiful, beautiful stop run here. Look at the red line here, and this is one of the prettier ones. Take best bid and offer off. Show you. So this is where the stop run began, right here. Some stops were triggered in here, and it looks like just a beautiful cascading stop run here. Now, we know this is this is a stop run. What we know though about this red line in here, what's showing 1416, that's the total of orders in here that are actually stop orders. Looks like to me. Yeah, that much we know, right? There's going to be more volume probably than that, but you can look across the board in here is nothing but buyers, right? So anyway, we'd have to add this up in here, get the calculation and compare, but it's looking like a majority of them, vast majority of them in here are stop orders. Can I comment on Apple and Tesla? Sure. Yeah, I'm still kind of waiting to see, like, and this might be the area to get these sellers to try to drive it back down. It's a hard reading today. You know, are these sellers really in control? And I'd say no. Look at the selling in here, and this is like the commitment from the sell side that we're looking at in here. It's pretty paltry. So we're not really seeing it in here. And now we're seeing the buyers come back in. Not really either. I mean, all of this activity in here is it's not much after that stop run, that huge stop run, for that commitment from one side or the other here. Anyway, we'll leave it at that, and we'll come back and take a look. We'll just go through a couple scenarios to see what might unfold here. Again, we're looking for, especially in this range with this kind of volume in here, we're looking for who might be trapped on one side, so they will be compelled to trade on the other side, and where they might be. Well, we have an algo here. You can see bidding up in these areas and just transacted. And anyway, scenario would be like if we can see maybe that order book lower here, and then we just had that high liquidity filled here, but we need to see follow through from the sell side here, not absorption and just through it by a tick or two. I want to see the sellers come in and then drive it lower. Okay, move it away, and move it away quickly from this area in here. And that would be one scenario here. Okay, exhaustion here, order book, that looks pretty good. Let's see, do we get our sellers here, or do we see them pulling here and we don't? All right, so anyway, that would be one scenario. The other scenario, and then we'll take a look at the stocks. The other scenario is, maybe we get trapped sellers down here and really seeing that buying coming in, probably around in this area, around this 06.5 area. They can come in and we see liquidity pulled here on the offer, okay? And then the bid getting strong here, up at higher levels here. Okay, so maybe that scenario is what's going to unfold. Okay, so we'll leave it at that for now. We'll come back and take a look here. Let's take a look at Apple. Yeah, well, Apple's still bullish here. Fading into and through. Okay, here they are in the bid here. Okay, at a higher level at 178.50 or yeah, or 60 or something. Still finding buyers. Boy, I wouldn't look at it until we see buyers back up here above 74 or around 74. Like not this buying here. I want to see buyers up here. See where the sellers came in this area. That's what we're looking. We're looking for the buyers back up above that area. Whoops. This buyers back up above that area into this high liquidity at 178.80 on up. In fact, see how we're getting more buyers kind of at these lower areas in here. This is not a good sign. They're buying at a lower area in here, and they're just open to being stopped out on the way down. Yeah. So this kind of consistent buying is good. This is back and forth in here, and then once we see that there's buying down here though on the way down, it's not a good sign. Right? We want to see the buying and the movement together here. Seen that a million times in the S&P. Let's see what it was, Tesla as well. So let's take a quick look at that. Look at all these. It's around 8 o'clock. We have all these dark pool transactions up in these areas here. Interesting. Well, 9:30 cash open. Move to the upside up into 254. So pretty big pullback. Still bullish though. Structure is still bullish. Okay, and a lot of buying again. The delta in here, buying on the way, well, not so much on the way down. We see these areas in here, but this is not good if we just can't get these buyers to make higher highs in here. Now they're struggling. Okay, and finally we see the exhaustion in here, and then a bit of buying above it here, but this is where the buying is starting to come in here. And so this is bullish in here, that we're down to this level. They're bidding up, and we're starting to see buyers come in again. All right, so that's good. See some exhaustion here on the sell side. That's good. Okay, this is one of the better things we've seen today so far. So let's see if we can get our buyers now to come in, and right now. And if they do come in, they should be able to move it to 53 and then maybe 54. Okay. Skew in the order book on the bid would be a good thing as well. right, buyers, let's see the move here. This is the third time up. Should be able to move it back up to 53. Maybe enough, looks like enough volume to make 54 here. Welcome, Josip. Another thing in here, what we're looking for again is, one of the things we look for in these areas here where these buyers are coming in. It's not just the buyers, right? It's the context of who is selling in here too, right? We want that on our side. Okay, that really adds to the fuel, to the upside. Okay, so what will happen a lot of times, we see this in the S&P all the time, is you get these buyers and they just can't. I mean, everything's looking pretty good here. We just don't get the stops though to start triggering this and fuel it to the upside. Okay, now it depends on the environment though as well. Okay, if there's not a whole lot of news out, then a lot of times it just kind of exhausts out, or our buyers just aren't willing to take it higher. And then we will see the sellers come in, and you will get our mean reversion type of activity, or retest some of the bottoms of the ranges, etc. And then maybe we can, down at those levels, we find buyers come back in and then finally move, right? Then we have sellers that that try to move it back down, trapped on the way back up. Okay, so anyway, one of the things that we don't have within this, I just don't see a whole lot of selling in here, to try to get this to move up into our 54. And we're definitely getting the buyers, that's for sure. Hey, just a thought here, about looking at some of your, aligning some of these outcomes, and trying to get something that is more probable. Okay, so and you can see that's kind of what's happening here. We did get through 53, up to this swing though, and not seeing a whole lot above it yet. Okay. Well, here's potential trap sellers, right? Potentially. Is it enough? I don't know. Doesn't look that good. Okay, it would be better to see it come back down into maybe 52 and 60 cents or so, or maybe 52.50, a little bit below it, and then have the buyers come back in and then reach 54. Anyway, that's what I got. And how are we on this S&P? So very choppy. It too came back up and tested this liquidity here at 08. Okay, but pretty thick wall up here at 10. Yeah, Dan, you're looking at Bitcoin in here. Yeah, look at this in Bitcoin. I saw this earlier as well. And it spiked 30,000. It came right back down. And this has got to be new. I don't know what happened, Dan, exactly. Okay, maybe TF. Slow it down, 575 on the offer. Put a limit now. Yeah. It's even, they're even adding more in here too. One large player here, this little white line, large lot tracker. So it's probably around 500. So up here, majority of that liquidity. All right, interesting here. They're bidding up here. Are we getting our buyers coming in? All right, yeah, looks like we're going to get our buyers and trade into and test this guy here. And we're going to see how this guy handles it up here. Okay, he just pulled some and added some higher. You see him split out his order there. Okay, and yeah, we're getting our test. There's 10. Okay, almost, yeah, it must have been somewhere around 500. Some traded up in here. Okay, 148. Sorry, 180 or so, it looks like. But nothing higher though. Have I seen huge moves like this in crypto in BTC? Oh yeah, Luis. I mean, just um, yeah, all the time. I mean, it's been muted for the last year or so, but like, yeah, every now and then. I mean, you can look at crypto on the bigger, higher time frame. You have it in the Bookmap web version here, free version. You show. With the Bookmap, this is kind of interesting because in the Bookmap web version here, or we can sign in, which I would recommend, you guys signing in here. Once you sign in, then you should be able to, hold on a minute, sign in. Say here. Should be able to sign in. Log in, I'm sorry, that's what it is. There we go. All right. So yeah, once you sign up or log in, then what's great about that is look at all the instruments that you get here. All right. So multi-book is the default, and then you can look at BTC USD or USDT here as well. Let's take a look at that one, and then we can zoom out a whole month with this data here, which is pretty amazing. And so here's that big spike. And did it didn't, I'm not showing it going up to 30,000 here, but it clearly did here. And some. So let's jump back to that web version. And anyway, you can see that a lot of these, some really big drops. And in this case, it's kind of outside of that range. That was maybe more than a month ago, the really big drops. But you can see that actually we're starting to have some moves to the upside in here. A lot of selling, and then potential trapped here on the higher time frames as well, to hit that 30,000 figure. All right, that's been it so far, hitting that 10, and then that larger player split out his liquidity up there. Sorry guys, hey, it's not much of a session here, pretty dull. We just got the squeeze to the upside in here, and it just did not look that convincing though. And big stop runs along the way. Okay, up to this area in here, and the spike above the 07. Right now, looking for the failure of that potentially, and then to come right back down to some of these areas in here. The hourly chart though, I mean, got some momentum on that hourly candle in here, and then also today, nice momentum. Right, so not out of the yeah, we can easily come back up into this 44.30 area here. This is like 18 and then up to about 30. Yeah, going over that kind of bigger picture in here about the kind of large move, pull back, large move. Right, so we're kind of now looking to see if we get that momentum on for that second leg on that large move. So anyway, one of the things to look for on that is when are these buyers really going to bite, and when are they going to come in, and keep our eye out for that. Okay, so because we've been looking at this and it's like, yeah, we can make a case for it going up, and then in some of these areas it wasn't really clear, and maybe some sideways activity, maybe sellers driving it down to bottom of ranges, etc. They are still in control. They are still moving this market. Okay, so but the movement hasn't been so convincing. Well, we might get that soon. We've seen that a lot of days where like yeah, it continues to move on up, everything's looking great on the candlestick chart, but the order flow in here is what is giving us this kind of at the playing field level understanding. So actually, what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn on we've actually have some new algos coming out for Market Pulse, and I want to let you guys know about that. Okay, we have a lot of different ones in here coming out. Support and resistance and balance. These might be renamed, but sweeps and absorption as well. Okay, so there's quite a few algos now that we have in here. The ones that you guys are familiar with: liquidity pressure for crypto only. Price change is free. Spread here, and we've had that for a while. And then volume pressure and volume pressure imbalance we've had. Again, nice. This is a nice move here, right? Again, pretty hard to kind of judge in here, looking for it. But and also again, a really huge stop run here to the upside. Okay, bidding up underneath in here, this is quite good. It's just that they're down here though. bit of a bid in here, and also now just coming into the book here at 10 as well. That's good. That's a flip of the order book in here. Offer to bid. All right, so let's see if we can get our those longer term players. Are they going to start to enter into the market here, and where we didn't quite see that commitment earlier? This would be a good place for them to come in. And let's listen to our market pulse in here. We got volume pressure, and I'm going to look at something else in here. Look at the absorption indicator in here. Volume pressure, yes, play. This one. Now, thought I had access to this. CL. All right, well, there's something else I want to show you in here. We're going to be releasing this soon as well. This is an additional indicator in here. You guys are going to love this. This was Scott Pulcini had requested this, and it was something that we kind of kicked around for a while. Actually, we kicked it around for a while and then asked him about this, and he said, yes, I like this idea. He would use it. Let me show you. This is really, really cool. I really like it. In fact, let me add another instrument in here first, and we'll look at the Russell. And I have not played around with this, but this is a good day to do it. Let's just go through it here. So we got the Russell. We've got the ES, the NQ. God, we can even add the YM in here if we want. Okay, so we got all four indexes here. All right, this is what we're going to do in here. Let me show you. This is really, really great tool. It is very valid and worthy just to try it for this alone. Now, we'll look at volume pressure, which you guys are familiar with. Then we click on the instrument here. Look what we can do. We can look at the ES. We can select the RTY, YM, and the NQ all together. Okay, and let's get rid of Bitcoin. So we have all four indexes here within one market pulse. And we're looking to here see when the volume pressure is going to pick up. All right, so this is fantastic tool here to be able to make this synthetic instrument for market pulse. And let's click play. Okay, so you guys don't have to open up. We have demoed many times in the past, like demoing the RTY together with the NQ and seeing how the S&P might be following, right? And starting to understand that. So, and we have it in the output here in the subchart as well. It's giving us pretty good signals in here. And actually some signals in here that are not too good either. Sell side in here. So it's tricky. Even with this, all four indexes are a little tricky in here. And here's what I mean. If we look at the subchart down here, this selling in here, they were all pinging here on all indexes, right? Well, so that's the trap there. And then here's the move to the upside, and it's pinging on the upside here. So let's try to filter this data out here by going through some of the settings in here. Okay, so we can only get, we're only looking for really good signals in here, good output. Okay, so let's see what it might be here. We can raise maybe the training. Let's take a look at the training period here, and let's see what we get. Have you guys played around with this, or no? I'm sorry, you of course you haven't. Yeah, clear. The liquidity pulled at 44.10. Slow down. Yeah, we'll take a look at it here. Well, we're getting a little bit better filter if we go with 10 minutes as our training period here, our look back period of sliding 10 minutes of data here. But let's take a look here at this 44.10. So that's the YM. Well, no, I mean, they transacted earlier, right? Yeah, in here. Some of it transacted. You're right. Here's where they did transact, and they came in a little bit more here. It was really this area that we're looking at is a little bit higher. Now, did they pull? No, they didn't. They're getting filled in here. Okay. What about this higher? These guys are getting filled in here too. Okay. So a lot of liquidity getting filled. Okay. Now we haven't seen the aggressors come in though yet on the sell side, but we do know, and let's take a look at this, that a lot of this liquidity, let's just look at the big green volume dots trading into high liquidity up in these areas in here. Okay. Now this is what happens on trending days, and we're looking for, again, on the trending days, you're looking for that these higher highs in here with heavy buy volume into high liquidity, and then we're going to get a little bit of pullback and then higher highs again, and high liquidity at another area in here. We're still holding a trend, no question. There's some selling. A high liquidity at 13, some selling coming in. I mean, that looks great in terms of absorption. Back to the Q&A here. AC, yeah, this new feature, it's not even in beta yet. Morning, Thomas. Or Alois, it's not in beta yet. I don't think you even have access to it yet. Maybe you have, but you can request for it. Okay. Well, anyway, there's something more in here that I wanted to let you guys know about with the Bookmap Academy. Let me show you this. All right. So this Bookmap Academy, if you are interested, and a lot of the guys in here are already in the academy, the goal here is for you to start journalizing your trading activity and marking up your charts, looking at specific order flow. This will improve your skills. There's no question about it. It will. And if you do that consistently, and you can reach certain quantitative and qualitative thresholds, you will be invited. Well, first you apply to the Bookmap Junior Academy. once you're invited in there, then you need to make those quotas. And if it makes those quotas, you can get invited to the Bookmap Academy. That's step 2. And then in here, you can actually get Bookmap for free. It goes on and on, become a coach, become a streamer, etc. We already have a few that have made it to the streamers. We have Tom B, we have Doug, we have Moby. You know, it's been in action for a bit, but what I'm trying to get to here is you get access here. Even at Bookmap Junior Academy, or an applicant will give you access to new products and add-ons, pre-released, right? You can see it's included here in all of these. So if you're interested, why not, if you're interested in this new tool, why not come down and sign up here? You need to sign up here first to capture you in our database. And then you need to reach out and ask in our Discord, because we need to catch you in Discord as well. Okay. Once we do that, then you can start documenting your trades, and we'll give you access. Okay. So AC, I don't know if you're part of it or not, but anyway, we're starting to get. I'm starting to hear it here. You guys in YouTube can hear it a bit. Okay, that sellers are just starting to come in, but again, I'm just not very happy about the order flow in here. This is only like a 1.5 or so. So buyers can come right back in above it here. Now we have a skew in the order book, and all indexes were sounding off here, right? That's a good sign. And here they come again. So again, the commitment on that sell side is just not so convincing. We do have the order book here on our side as well. And we do have this confluence here of all stock indexes as well. So I don't know. Again, the alignment of these elements in here is kind of keeping me away from, or the disalignment, unalignment of these elements is keeping me away from something that just looks more probable. Yeah, so you see how we're back up now. Let's see if we get any buyers up here. Yeah, AC, you might want to look into it. I mean, I don't know what you're. And we're looking for all traders. Get Bookmap if you're a really experienced trader and you can make that quota. You're probably doing that anyway if you're a really experienced trader. You're documenting your trades. Just looking for typical things like if you go over to Bookmap Insights, or like here in our all markets, this is what I'm following right now for this webinar. You can see like Slowdown has just put some in here. And this is one of the better, probably the best example you're ever going to see is some of these images from Slowdown. They're very, very clean and clear. Okay, what he's looking for in here. So yeah, might want to pop over there and take a look. You can see his Wyckoff Spring example in a kind of diagram form, and then what he's looking for very specifically in here. And so like he got this one here. Fact, here's the drop. Here's he's looking for a stop to be hit below that area, and then he's looking for the buyers to come in back up above that area into the range. Okay, so back into point of control of the range, and also to the other side of the range. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. Got it. Okay, so anyway, that's the kind of documentation we're talking about. this will help you create much stronger trading plan for yourself, trading setups. So yeah, see it as kind of a win-win there. Guys, I think we're going to call it early here. I'm like, again, like it, we can go through some scenarios in here. We're still in an uptrend. We did break it though, but we're still making higher highs and higher lows in here. And the trend line has been broken. You can see this structure has been broken as well. Sellers are starting to come in here a bit. So let's see. Now, just got to move to the top. Now we're starting to see it. All right, I'd look for, this is probably one of the better looks. We're having all indexes here, so we got some sellers here to hit into not only 07. I think we can get down to probably 05 here, but yeah, we're just not seeing much today. All right, so even though boy, I mean, it's been a pretty strong move here. It's just been up in these areas in here. It's been very kind of traders walking on eggshells until we get this big stop run. Continuation higher. Let's see. Anyway, great new feature here with this market pulse. Okay, so yeah, there's a beta room in Discord as well, but yeah, I'd recommend just sign up for the Bookmap Junior Academy, and you'll get it as well. Apply to it. All right, well, let's take a step back. Let's look at our bigger picture here. All right, so we're back up above, we're above this area in here, but we're starting to see our sellers come in. Makes sense. Really looking for sellers to come in though, and see if we can drive it back down and retest. Probably, first area would probably be somewhere around in here in these wicks here. So somewhere around this kind of 90 level, 43.90 or so, somewhere down there. Maybe the low, and then maybe the gap fill. But like, again, the bigger picture here on the daily chart is this is a pretty strong candle, and in fact, in terms of ATR, we're probably just about, or ADR in this case, we're probably somewhere around that range. I'm looking for it to come up into 30. Boy, we'd have to really see a lot more volume, a lot more commitment on the buy side. Okay, so this in terms of, like, if you're looking at your ADRs or ATR type of stuff in here, then we're looking for sellers then to drive it back down. Okay, but just looking for that commitment in here. Okay, so we're starting to hear them. Okay, so this was one of the better moves that we kind of saw in here, was this maybe hitting into 05 here. That's starting to unfold. And then actually, let's take a look at our Tesla. What happened in Tesla? And that was one of the better things we saw here as well. Almost got up to 54, right? But just that was it. Okay, we're looking at looking at back in here, I think, right? Yeah, up in here. We had to come back down, then come back up. It really back and forth in here in Tesla. Because here we're looking for that move up and just went back and forth. So hard day there in Tesla as well. Apple selling off now after hitting into that high liquidity up here. Our Bitcoin, nothing. Okay, bottom of this range in here. Boy, that's all we got. Okay, high liquidity getting filled in here. That's good. All right, well, you know, we can start to look for, if we can get those buyers again, like look for maybe a potential. We're at the bottom of a range here, right? So we'd be looking for buyers in here, and let's hear it in all markets here in Market Pulse. Okay, and then we can get it moved back to 10 as the first stopping point here, and then we'll see if the even more buyers come in or not. Okay, scenario number one. Scenario number two, and this is it's hard. I'm really kind of finding it hard to read today, but we're up at these high levels in here, and you know, we can really find sellers that they may come in and hit it hard here on the bid. Next stop would be down at the swing in here. High liquidity is up at this 05, 03 area here, but looking for them to trade into it and through it, the sellers, and drop it through, and then the next level would be below the figure here. And, maybe the figure, but I like this area here around this 98-ish area right here. Okay, the high liquidity is at the figure. This is where that move kind of initiated and moved to the upside here. Stop run and then pull back, and then this is where we're reading it in here, and it just wasn't convincing in here. They started to we saw the buyers starting to accumulate in here. Anyway, guys, we'll wrap it up. We'll call it a day. Thanks, everybody. Hit the like button if you can. And we will, can you share the ES overlay with the NQ? Yeah, I mean, we can use the correlation tracker here. Okay, so we can take a look at that. And we can add that. Put the NQ in here. Okay, is this what you're talking about? Let's add a color. All right, so it's adding. Another way to do it is just, you know, pop over to the NQ here. You can double click on this to pop it out into a different window, or you can drag and drop it, whatever. And then what you could do here, I'll show you. You can kind of split the screen, or, you know, put this on a different monitor basically. And you know, here we have the NQ on the right and the ES here, or we have the ES here on the left. Okay? And then that blue line is also the NQ. All right, Shane. So a few different ways to do it, and then don't forget this Market Pulse tool. So you can make you can merge or look at them separately. Looking at the aggressors in here with the volume pressure for both NQ and ES separately or together, right? And look at that correlation as well. So let's close this. It'll pop it back into the tab versions in here. And here's our NQ. Drag and drop it over. All right. All right, guys. Well, again, sign up for that if you're interested in that Market Pulse tool beta, and you want to play around with some of these. I can show you what you're going to get access in here to, and it's worth it. See if you can build an edge where others can with this tool in here. So you have multiple instruments to make a synthetic instrument here. We can create new ones in here, and we can add absorption pressure. We have support and resistance and balance, and we have sweeps and sweeps pressure and balance. Okay, so these are really powerful indicators in here to really understand. Like, you don't have to turn away to different charts to look at and understand absorption, for example. Right, so that's going to be a real advantage. You can really just home in on your own instrument that you trade most frequently, to get insight though from others by just looking at this little widget or hearing it, in fact. So it's worthy to play around with this and see if you can get something out of it to add to your edge. All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for coming, everybody. And we'll hopefully see something a bit better tomorrow, or something more convincing, at least, in the order flow here to give us an additional insight. Okay. Yeah. Take care, and we'll catch up with you tomorrow. Oh, Tom B is up next in the next few minutes or so. And then also Fausto he'll be on later today at 1 p.m. He comes in every month on the third Monday of each month. Yeah, take a look at our whole calendar and schedule from the Bookmap Learning Center. Let me show you how you can get there. If you want, just go to the More button here from bookmap.com, and then go to the Learning Center here. And then, well, we have these courses in here, but scroll down a little bit, and here's our calendar. Okay, so you can see who's up next. Okay, so as mentioned, well, we had Pirate Traders with Charles earlier, all markets here. Paco is going to be starting the Brazilian market here, and then Tom B at the same time, going through the S&P E-mini and volume profiles. Right, so if you're a profile trader, I highly recommend you come and check that out. Spanglish trades later, and then here's Fausto, options with Doug, and Algo Boys rounds it out and closes the market. All right, thanks everybody. Have a good day, and we'll catch up tomorrow. Take care.